just when you think the A's frustration had reached its peak, that frustration keeps on coming. Last night, after an absolute gem through 8 innings from Jeff Samardzija, the Rangers rattled off 6 runs in the top of the 9th against rock-solid closer Sean Doolittle, as the Athletics lost a heartbreaker and once again dropped in the wild card standings. Today, it's a quick turnaround as they wrap up the series with the Rangers, which means they can regroup, have a short memory, and get back to battling for the postseason berth. It's A's Rangers coming up next. Day baseball from the O.co Coliseum. It's game number 152 of this regular season. And there are your wild card standings. A's and the Royals tied for the number 1 spot. Mariners are 2 back. The Royals are off today. The Mariners will play tonight against the Angels down in Anaheim. So the A's trying to avoid being swept. It's the Texas Rangers and the Oakland A's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, no doubt the A's are relying more than ever on their pitching, and they've really done that all year, Ray, but it's been quite a change because the first 4 months of the season, the A's offense was terrific, but, boy, the last 35, 40 games, it has really struggled.
We don't even want to look at the record. I think we have to because it's not been very good for the Athletics since early August, but the biggest thing for the Athletics has been the lack of offense. They have been getting the pitching, 6-4-3 double play here, but the biggest culprit last night, bottom of the 8th inning with a 1-run lead, bases loaded, nobody out. Pop up, fly ball to right field. The approach by the Athletics, just trying to put the ball in play, maybe even on the ground to get a gift run. They could not do that, and I think everybody knew what might happen in the 9th inning. Unfortunately, it did when the A's could not add on in the 8th.
Pitching matchup this afternoon. Sonny Gray looks for his 14th win, and he will be opposed by the young right-hander Nick Martinez.
For Sonny Gray, 3-1 against the Rangers this year. That's the good news. The bad news, Nick Martinez, forget about his ugly record. He's lost 11, but he's pitched extremely well against the Athletics in the early part of the season. A start and a relief appearance, a very low earned run average against the A's. Looked like Cy Young in April, but his record right now, not that great. But a big game for the Athletics. Sonny Gray, one of the biggest pitchers and the best pitchers to be trying to avoid a sweep.
So the Rangers have outscored the A's 12-4 in this series. Let's hope that changes today as the A's will try to salvage the final game of the series and get ready for the Phillies this weekend. So we're set for day baseball from the Coliseum. It's the Oakland A's and the Texas Rangers. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back.
on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, day baseball from the Coliseum. He's wearing the green tops today as they take the field behind their starting pitcher this afternoon, Sonny Gray. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open on weekends. Had a little rain last night and this morning, but it's another nice day. Kind of humid, 72 degrees with just a nice light breeze. Fair amount of clouds in the sky, but the rain is gone.
The humidity is the shocker, because normally in the Bay Area you don't get the humidity. But today it is.
All right, let's look at the lineup for the Rangers. Starts with Leonis Martin, then Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor. Adrian Beltre will DH. Jake Smolinski in right field. Tomas Telis is the catcher. Ryan Rua is in left field. Adam Rosales at first. And the third baseman is a switch hitter, Luis Sardinez.
And Sonny Gray trying to avoid a sweep by the Rangers. He has pitched well enough to be exactly that. We've always said when you have a good starting staff, should not have long losing streaks, score some offense, score some runs. Sonny Gray should be able to take care of the rest. 13 wins, 3-1 against the Rangers this season in his 4 previous starts.
Defensively for the A's, Moss, Crisp, and Fold, left, center, and right. Donaldson, Lowry, Sogard, Callaspo, third to first. And Derek Norris is your catcher. So we are set for baseball. Rangers won on Tuesday, 6-3. Rangers won last night, 6-1. So the A's are happy to get back at it after a very difficult loss last night. And the first pitch of the game is tapped solely up the first base line. Gray has it. He throws low, but Callaspo digs it out. And that's the first out of the ball game.
And Gary Cederstrom should have called out Martin even before the throw arrived. He was way inside on the grass, and that's just not allowable, and supposed to stay in the lane. But a nice play by Sonny Gray, showing his athletic ability to get on top of the baseball. But the umpire looking right down the line, and of course the runner's supposed to stay to the right of the line, not inside on the grass. Yeah, the slippery and kind of a lob throw by Sonny Gray maybe could not get a good grip on the baseball, but got the out anyway.
So here's Elvis Andrus. First pitch to Andrus is a strike. Sonny Gray is sitting at 198 innings pitched. So he's going to get to the 200 inning mark real soon. It's a great milestone to get to for any pitcher. Samardzija got there last night.
That's what James Shields said when he was acquired by the Royals. He wanted the starters to go over 1,000 innings between them, and of course Shields always takes care of his.
Andrus rolls one into right field for a base hit. Sonny Gray, 9th best ERA in the American League, 8th with those innings. It's hard to imagine. Sonny Gray, he hasn't really pitched poorly, but he's only got 1 win in his last 9 starts. He hasn't been quite as sharp as he was early in the year, but still pitching fairly well.
It seems like when he walks a batter, they score. Yeah, and that's one of the problems. He's got he's amassed too many walks probably for his ability to throw strikes.
There's Odor. Odor slices one foul. His last start was very good. Of course, that was the great game in Seattle on Saturday night when he and Felix Hernandez hooked up. And when he left, it was a 2-2 game. He went 8 innings. And the A's ended up winning the game 3-2. So he matched up against Felix Hernandez. Matched him. And the A's got a win. Odor, a liner. Nice play by Lowry to second for 1. On to first, not in time. But a very nice play by Lowry on a hard hit ball by Odor.
Jed Lowry to his right. It's going to be tough to double up Odor because he runs so well. And Callaspo doing a good job coming off the bag to keep a ball from getting past him after this throw by Sogard. Nice play by Lowry, though, taking a hit away from Odor, who seems to like to hit the ball towards the left center field area.
So here's Beltre with 2 outs. Beltre is the designated hitter. Beltre had 3 hits on Tuesday, but 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored last night. So 3 for 8 in the series, hitting .323, third best in the American League. Swing and a miss. It's Altuve at .344, Victor Martinez at .333, Beltre at .323. So Jose Altuve's got a fairly decent lead. The batting average at this point in the year is not going to go up or down a whole lot.
And Altuve's not going to go to a big slump.
I don't think so.
No, I think that's the problem, or at least the good news for him, because he is very aggressive, makes contact a lot, and of course when you make contact, put the ball in play, you have a chance to do what he's done and exceed the 200 hit mark.
Yeah, 213 now for Jose Altuve. Nelson Cruz leads the league in home runs with 39. Trout in runs batted in with 107. Beltre takes low. So the count 2-2 with Odor at first base. Michael Brantley from the Indians is 4th in the league in hitting, .322. He's quietly having a very fine season for the Tribe. 2-2 pitch, a line towards center, and that'll fall for a hit. Odor around second, and he's going to go to third. So first and third with 2 outs for Jake Smolinski.
Well, the Rangers, as usual, are being very aggressive against Sonny Gray, and with a 2-strike pitch, tried to go inside, but once again, the pitch did not get in where perhaps Sonny wanted it. Last night, Samardzija with a great 2-seam fastball inside, hard down it. But Beltre, strong as he is, able to clear his hands, and not surprised that it's a first and third with Odor going to third base. So Samardzija last night, a 2-out double, and had to get out of the inning. Sonny Gray first and third. And usually for Sonny, the first inning is his toughest inning. And if he can get through this one, he usually settles down nicely.
First pitch to Smolinski is a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, location, fastball inside, and Beltre just, able to get inside the ball and hit it straight away center. It's pretty good hitting by the veteran.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. That one missed just a touch inside. Cedarstrom calling balls and strikes. Lance Barksdale at first. Seth Buckminster at second. He's the guy who they called in. And Mark Ripperger at third. Kerwin Daly had to lead the game after getting hit with a foul tip last night. So Buckminster is joining this umpiring crew. Though we hope Kerwin Daly's okay. Have not heard a report on him. This is the shot he took.
It's a direct hit, unfortunately, for him, and he did stay in but had to leave after the completion of the inning. But just to the left of Chernos and right off the face mask, and it was a wow. And had to hold on to Nick Pepperist as he was heading the dugout. 10-minute delay, but it did not affect Jeff Samardzija. Retired 9 consecutive batters after the 10-minute delay.
1-2 pitch and a check swing by Smolinski, and he did not go. So the count even at 2-2.
Derek Norris had to concentrate on blocking the ball in the curveball in the dirt, and then once he corralled the ball, looked to first base. Normally catcher will go immediately, but Smolinski did not complete the swing.
So Odor at third, Beltre at first. curveball line to left, and that's a hit. Kind of hung up there, and Smolinski lines it to left. So he's had a nice series with a home run on Tuesday night and an RBI single here in the first to give the Rangers a 1-0 lead.
Got a curveball in the dirt on a check swing, and then maybe trying to throw it more for a strike with a 2-2 count, and Sonny Gray left it up. I mean, that's a hanger. That's up in the eyes, and for any hitter, rookie, veteran, pretty good pitch to hit, especially the 2 strikes. And unfortunately, the last 2 hits, Beltre and Smolinski, now have come on 2-strike pitches. Got to stop the bleeding immediately. You cannot let this inning get out of hand. Sonny normally does settle down after the first.
Here's the catcher, Tomas Taillese. Our first look at Taillese. 318 in the minor leagues, 240 at the big league level in 13 games. He's a switch hitter. Switch hitting catcher always has a chance to stick around in the big leagues.
Yeah, because the only day he might get a day off is whenever it's a day game after a night game if he's catching every day, because switch hitter, don't have to worry about platoon.
Big swing, and it rolls foul, so the count 0-2. This is a big swing, folks.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, you no such thing as shortening up with a couple of strikes.
He's just 22 years old, 23 making, turned 23 in June. From Venezuela. There's a little uncertainty surrounding the Rangers catching situation moving forward, so maybe an opportunity for Tomas Taillese. 1-2 pitch way high. So a stressful inning in the first here for Sonny Gray. 21 pitches, 3 hits and a run so far for the Rangers.
And 1 pitch, 1 out to Martin, and 20 for the next hitters, and still trying to get out of the jam.
Beltre, Smolinski are the runners. Another pitch that's high. This one a fastball at 93 miles an hour. Yeah, so full count.
Might as well throw him a curveball now. He's up with his fastballs, and I'd say the way he swung on the 0-2 pitch, if you throw him a curveball anywhere close to the plate, he might be aggressively swinging at it and swing and miss.
So runners will move. There they go. And the pitch is lined into left field, a base hit. Beltre is going to make it safely. Smolinski goes around to third, and that's 4 hits in the inning by the Rangers, and they lead 2-0. So Taillese just went the other way, just out of the reach of Donaldson. So Kurt Young will visit.
Right there, boy, you talk about a pitch to hit. It was right about belt high towards the outside part of the plate, and the aggressive swing on a pitch inside would indicate that he was going to use the whole field, and he did it perfectly, reaching out and able to hit the ball to left field. And that quickly again, 3 consecutive 2-out hits.
Something to be said about a youngster, Ray, and we saw it. We don't know a whole lot about Taillese, but you saw him take a couple big swings, but then with 2 strikes, he shortened up and just went the other way. So here's Ryan Rua hitting .273. Here's the starter in left field on Tuesday night in game 1 of the series. He did not play last night.
This is the 6th batter in the inning. Make it the 7th. 7 consecutive first pitch strikes. And usually that helps a pitcher to get ahead. Once again, 2 strikes. You got to have the put away pitch.
So 0-2. Sonny Gray with a check. And the pitch is into left center field, and that's a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Haley's is going to hustle around to third, and it's 3-0. The Rangers lead.
You look where this pitch is, you can understand another hanging curveball and right in the middle of the plate. I mean, you get 2 strikes on a hitter, at least you have the opportunity to try to bury it, try to get him to swing at a bad pitch, but this ball stays up in the eyes again of another hitter. So 7 consecutive first pitch strikes, 4 consecutive 2-strike hits, and it's resulted in 3 runs.
So 4 consecutive hits, 5 hits in the inning. And some pretty good hitting by the Rangers.
Oh yeah, and he's smart. Well, they're getting pretty good pitches to hit too. I mean, they're not quality pitches with 2 strikes, and you know that enables. I mean, give credit to the Rangers for hitting the pitches that are not good.
And that one off Norris. He scrambles after it, throw to the plate, not in time, as Taylor comes in to score, and now it's 4-0. So ruled a wild pitch.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been changed to a passed ball, and Derek Norris just off the edge of his glove, and as he hurried back to get to the ball, but right off there. I mean, he closed his glove a little bit too quickly and hit on the edge of his mitt.
One bounced foul, so the count 1-1 to Rosales. So Rua goes down to second. Kind of hoping that the start time for this game was actually 1:05. So really it hasn't started.
It hasn't started.
Yeah.
A do-over. I think the amazing thing is that 1 pitch, 1 out, and then a base hit to right field. That started by Andrus, then a great play by Lowry to get the force out, 2 outs, and looked good at that point. But then single, 2 strikes.
Rosales swings and misses, 2-2 the count. The Rangers, of course, the record's not great, 59-62 or 59-92, but they've won 5 in a row. Figure it. Who knows? Bad team playing well. Then outside with a fastball. Gray wanted it 3-2.
Well, how much have we said it's not who you play, it's when you play them.
Yep.
And obviously sweeping the Rangers or the Braves over the weekend in Arlington, I'm sure it gave them a lot of confidence.
They lost 11 out of 12 before sweeping the Braves. So you go from losing 11 out of 12 to winning 5 in a row. 3-2 pitch to Rosales. Bounce to Donaldson. He's got to wait for it. Fires to first, and they just get Rosales side retired. So 4 runs on 5 hits for the Rangers. Bottom of the first coming up. so work to do for the Athletics, but a lot of time to do it. Coco Crisp will lead off, followed by Full, Donaldson, Dunn, Moss, Lowry, Norris, Caspo, and Sogard.
Well, I think Nick Martinez is happy it's not a 105 start because he's taken the mound without even. Well, he may take more tosses to get loose, but he is making the start today. Just his 22nd 3-11 record with almost a 5 earned run average. So the A's gave up 4 in the first. So have a chance.
Yep.
But he's pitched well against the A's this year. That's the bad news.
Yeah, his last 3 starts, he's pitched fairly well, but doesn't have anything to show for it except a loss and 2 no decisions. So, see how the A's handle Nick Martinez, the 24-year-old right-hander. One and one to count to Coco Crisp. There's your last 3 starts. The ERA is good, 2.60, but the run support has not been good. So, man, trying to finish strong. A little bit. He's 18th round draft pick of the Rangers back in 2011. Coco with a shot to center, but a good jump by Leonis Martin going to his right, and he makes the catch. So hard hit ball by Coco, but it's an out defensively for the Rangers. Bruin left, Martin in center, Smolinski in right, Sardinas, Andrus, Odor, Rosales with Haley's the catcher. So 1 out for Sam Fuld. The Kansas City Royals will have the day off. They'll get ready to host the Tigers tomorrow. The Mariners and the Angels will play tonight. That'll be the final game of that 4-game series down in Anaheim. Pop up. Haley's comes back and he grabs it.
Time now for the Nissan keys to the game. This was, we were going to read it before the game. Whatever happened last night, don't let it happen again. Well, it didn't. They scored 6 in the 9th last night, only 4 in the first today. So that's good. And regroup and rebound, that's what they have to do right now. And I guess, as always, the good news, if you have a lot of runs scored against you, it haven't happened early. And we've talked about that. You don't want to have an 8th inning or 9th inning like last night. So 4 spot in the first inning. And Sonny Gregg settled down. A's, though, as always, need to get on the board and at least show they're going to score against the Rangers. And you're going to see some of those right there. First pitch fastball right down the middle, and maybe eventually the A's will see that and start swinging at them. But with a 4-run first inning, Nick Martinez just throwing strikes.
So 1-1 the count. That pitching matchup tonight in Anaheim is Felix Hernandez and Jared Weaver. How about that? Hernandez a 14-game winner. Weaver a 17-game winner. Maybe worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. Well, the important thing for the Angels, and they know the Orioles are going to continue to play well. Home field advantage is something to play for, even though they've clinched early. Both the Orioles and the Angels, and Mike Scioscia knows that his team, as any manager, wants to stay sharp going into the postseason because they will start the league championships or the division series 2 weeks from today. So they've got some time off for meaningful games, and so Mike Scioscia will keep them ready to go.
Hit hard, but Andrus has it, throws high, and Rosales got the tag. Donaldson tried to slide. Let's hope he's okay. He is, and it's a 6-3 putout. So the A's go quietly in the first. We're heading to the second. 4-0 Texas. McDonald's, April 28th of this year. Sonny Gray, a 2-hit shutout in Arlington. And it was the first shutout of what we think will be quite a few for Sonny Gray. 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 108 pitches. He did it in Arlington against the lineup that at that time had some pretty darn good hitters in it.
Well, in that previous start, the one prior to that when he was shut out, as Martin Perez actually shut the Athletics out here in that sweep earlier in the season before the A's swept the Rangers. The next road trip the next week. So hopefully the A's can bounce back today, get some runs on the board. Sonny Gray can settle down in this inning.
He'll face Luis Sardinez, the youngster playing third base today. His first action in this series. Beltre is the designated hitter today. That one grounded. Backhanded nicely. Sogard, tough play, and he got him. Nicely done by Eric Sogard. So 1 away here in the second inning. These are the starts for Sonny Gray against these Rangers. April 23rd, the loss, but then the highlight we just showed you on April 28th. June 18th, good outing with a win. July 26th, good outing with a win. June 18th was here at the Coliseum. Bunted. And throw to first. Caspo digs it out. Nice play on both ends.
And Sonny Gray quickly again getting off the mound. He handled Martin's bunt, not a bunt, chopped ball in the first inning. This time was a bunt and quick throw, nice pick, and a big out. Showing the speed, but Sonny Gray also showing his ability to get off the mound quickly, and nice pick. You see Sogard behind behind Caspo, backing up in the event the ball got past him. Good hustle by Sogard. Better play by Sonny Gray to get the out.
So with 2 outs, Elvis Andrus hits. For whatever it's worth, Andrus had the 1-out single in the 9th inning last night that started the 6-run inning. He had the 1-out single today that started the 4-run inning.
First pitch fastball last night. Third pitch fastball today on the opposite field.
It's 3 for 11 in the series. Swing and a miss on 88-mile-an-hour pitch. 2-1 the count.
Like a changeup, but also like a batting practice fastball, as Andrus looking for something much harder. Sonny Gray did a good job pulling the string on it.
Good curve. Andrus cannot pull the trigger. 2-2 the count. Outfield shallow, shifted toward right for Elvis Andrus, who hits the ball the other way quite a bit. That's where his base hit was in the first inning. Good pitch there, and he gets the first strikeout. So Sonny Gray has an 8-pitch inning, badly needed. Bottom of the second coming up. 4-0 Texas. Bottom of the second inning. These went quietly in the first. It'll be Dunn, Moss, and Lowry here in the second. Adam Dunn swings and misses. 22 home runs, 61 RBIs for Dunn. A couple of home runs with the Athletics and 7 RBIs. Fastball at 93 miles an hour is outside. This is the only day game being played. 3 night games in the American League. We told you about Seattle and Anaheim, Cleveland at Houston, Toronto at New York. A busier schedule in the National League.
Just wonder how many fastballs Martinez is going to throw with a 4-0 lead. And I say that because there's always percentages of fastballs, curveballs, sliders, changeups that a pitcher will throw, but a lot of those things can change depending on the run support. And getting 4 runs in the first inning might change a lot. Nothing but fastballs to Dunn.
And that went up a little bit, and he gets his first strikeout.
Fans, be sure to take advantage of the Xfinity Friday Family Pack coming up tomorrow against the Philadelphia Phillies. You can get 4 Plaza level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, and 4 bags of peanuts at just $50. Tickets are limited, so act fast. For more information and tickets, go to athletics.com/Friday.
So 1 out. Here's Moss. Is it Philly scout again? So they got a couple scouts. We had one here the other night.
Well, that's kind of hard. He's wearing an Athletics t-shirt. He's going incognito.
I think he's undercover. Phillies playing tonight in San Diego.
Got the red line hotline to Brian Sandberg.
No question. I'm telling you.
Thinking the last time the Phillies were here, the late Harry Kalas was sitting right there. Great all-time broadcast.
Oh, man, oh man.
NFL Films, right? And,
yeah, voice of NFL Films. That's all you really need to say. Line shot. Smolinski is there. He's got it. So we got a little injury update, Ray. For this play last night, Reddick, when he hit first base, watch his left knee and ankle. And it looked ugly. I mean, it really did. We were very concerned, but he stayed in the game.
Well, remember the hyperextension that put him on the disabled list against the the right field wall? Well, when he hit the bag as hard as he did, you see his knee hyperextend again, the left knee.
He actually had an MRI, but it was on his left ankle. So I guess the knee is okay. And the MRI showed no structural damage. So that's good, but it was a little scary.
Very scary.
Also a little bit of a sore neck, we're told. So, but it sounds like he's okay. 9-pitch inning for Nick Martinez. He's retired the first 6, and it's 4-0 Texas after 2. Announced today that the new AAA team for the Oakland Athletics will be the Nashville Sounds. That starts next year, and they're getting a brand spanking new ballpark. So that's nice. First Tennessee park going to be ready next year. So no longer the Sacramento River Cats for A's AAA team. It'll be the Nashville Sounds.
And they can go to the Grand Ole Opry on their off days.
So a brand new ballpark is always a nice thing to have.
Well, that's how things have changed at the minor league level. It's a huge business, and understandably so, and that's why new parks are built. What the River Cats have done in their attendance over the years.
Sonny Gray quickly off the mound, throws. Caspo things out the short hop. Odor is out. You think about minor league parks now, and you think about college baseball parks and stadiums. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think a lot of the cases of why players, when they get to professional ranks, they're not that as intimidated, because the college programs, the stadiums, as you mentioned, but you're also getting nationally televised games, and of course the World Series, College World Series, all those things. And by the time players get to this level, they say, well, I've already played in front of big crowds. It's a big deal. I've experienced in first year of the big leagues, 25,000 in Portland. First game in Cleveland, 2,500.
I was going to say that doesn't seem right.
No, it's a playoff game in Portland. Went to Cleveland, all excited about the big leagues, and where's everybody? That 75,000 seat stadium, and the mistake on the lake, which is no longer there. But yeah, times have changed, and those guys doing their job. The pitchers have been, last night, a great example of Jeff Samardzija pitching a great game for 8 innings.
Well, you think about how big minor league baseball is. I mean, you have 30 teams, 30 big league teams, and each major league team has 6 minor league teams, single A, couple single A teams, double A team, triple A team, couple of short season teams, rookie league teams. I mean, it goes on and on. And you're talking about close to 200 minor league teams.
Right.
That's amazing.
A high fastball that Beltre could not lay off, and Sonny Gray gets the strikeout. So after the base hit, there's a pass ball. Now Sonny Gray has done a very good job retiring everybody since, and again, typical, and there are pitchers who do struggle in the first inning and then settle down, and Sonny Gray already has, call it 3 assists with handling 3 ground balls in front of him.
Smolinski had an RBI single, and then he scored a run in the first inning.
You talk about the number of teams, but how about the number of players for those teams, and how every year in June, the amateur draft, where you have new players, and so the filtering of the players throughout the teams and the major leagues and their affiliates.
There's a shot. Smolinski has another hit. Young man having a fine series. 2 singles today.
Remember Satchel Paige great saying, and Smolinski with this time the 1-1 fastball after hitting a hanging curveball his first at bat. Satchel Paige always said never look back. There's somebody always trying to gain it, and that's what happens now in professional baseball, especially with the June draft and all these players in the minor leagues trying to get to this level.
Here's Taylor's RBI single and a run scored in the first. But for every 40 guys that get drafted and filter into your minor league system, well, there's some guys that got to go.
That's right.
And it's probably going to be about that number.
That's exactly right. Yeah, there's only so many teams, so many players per team.
And it's not like these minor league teams have 35, 40 guys in a team. They have 25.
That's right.
But just around Northern California, I mean, you think about it, Sacramento and Fresno and Reno has a AAA team, and you got Stockton and Modesto and San Jose. I mean, you have a whole different levels, and you got, of course, the 2 major league teams.
It's also why the independent leagues are thriving, because you have all those players who are no longer part of a professional organization, whether it be minor leagues or major leagues, and they want a place to play. They'll feel they have a chance, and they get that opportunity. You know, Scott Kazmir pitched in independent baseball with the Sugar Land Skeeters. Got a chance to show that he could still pitch, and signed with the Indians last year, 2-year contract with the A's this offseason.
.51 pitches for Sonny Gray, giving up 6 hits. Facing Tomas Teles. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So a couple of strikeouts in the 3rd inning for Sonny Gray. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It'll be Norris, Callaspo, and Sogard. 4-0 Rangers. Sunday to Sunday, plus the official postgame show of the team is Raiders postgame live Sunday to Sunday. The authentic home of the Raiders is Comcast Sportsnet. The Raiders are at New England on Sunday.
Batting in the 7th position,
Like Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Derek Norris.
Brady never likes to lose, does he?
No, he doesn't like to lose.
I saw him interviewed, and he said it's not even part of the vocabulary. So that's a great thing to be able to say for your quarterback, to take the snaps every Sunday, every whatever day, and expect to win.
Here's Norris to lead it off. Nick Martinez has retired the first 6 with a strikeout. Facing Norris, Callaspo, and Sogard here in the bottom of the 3rd.
It's the first hitter without a first pitch strike also. So that's a little cut action on the fastball.
And that's a strike. 1-1 the count. Just found out that Jared Weaver, who we said just a little bit ago, is starting tonight. He just got scratched. Wade LeBlanc is going to pitch tonight for whatever that's worth.
Well, that's probably Jared Weaver soaked from the bubbly last night. So some of the highlights. Of course, the Angels not won the division since what, 09? So they're back in the postseason. You think of the players they signed: Pujols, Hamilton, Wilson. Trout wasn't there at the time, so a lot of players the first time getting a chance to play in postseason. Very excited, as well as they should be. They played well enough to warrant winning the division.
2-2 the count. So yeah, probably slide Weaver back a little bit.
Well, and also they're setting up for that first game of the league championship. I say the division championship series, and that's
be 2 weeks from today, right?
2 weeks from today. Yeah. So I'm sure Mike Scioscia, Mike Butcher, setting up their rotation, as are the Orioles, Nationals, teams that have already clinched. Good check swing by Derek Norris, trying to start something here in the third inning, and breaking ball with 2 strikes from Martinez.
He's looking for some base runners. 3-2 to Norris. Just got a piece of that one. Norris hitting .270 with 10 home runs and 53 RBIs. For 6 in this series. This one's hit high in the air, foul territory. Rosales hustling all the way, cannot quite get it. A breakdown of what Nick Martinez throws. Lots of fastballs. A little slider, a little change. An occasional curveball.
And again, a 4-run lead in the first inning before you take the mound. That 67% fastballs is something that you should be throwing quite a bit. It's a high percentage pitch, especially if you can spot it well enough.
Another 3-2, and that's a high pitch, and it's a walk.
Something for the fans to get excited about. Like it. A base runner. So a leadoff walk turns out to be good, as they usually are.
Batting in the 8th position, first baseman.
So here's Callaspo playing first base. Callaspo really struggling. He has 4 hits in his last 41 at-bats. It's covering his last 16 games. Not close, and now it's 2-0.
We've talked about Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer, and he's John Lester. And when they pitch and they take their 8 warm-up tosses, they pitch out of the stretch because it's most critical. And here Martinez now taking some time after putting a base runner on via the walk. Mike Maddux, his pitching coach, looking on, but all of a sudden pitching out of the stretch for the first time. 2 pitches not even close to Callaspo.
Swing and a miss on that one. 92 miles an hour. Kept it away from Callaspo.
That's not Callaspo's normal swing. That's one that kind of lifted on a fastball, maybe trying to do a little bit extra with it.
Sogard to follow. This one's popped up. Sardinez, the third baseman, goes back a couple steps onto the outfield grass. He has it.
See, that uppercut swing, all you're going to get is a fly ball. And Callaspo is not one that's going to hit a lot of home runs. He's hit 4. But he did it on the 2-0, and watch this. This is straight up. And saw last night with the bases loaded, he was the second out with a pop-up on the infield. I mean, he usually, and we have seen him hitting down on the ball and driving the ball, using the whole field. And all of a sudden, a little uppercut from someone who's not blessed with a lot of power is not that great.
So with 1 out, Sogard will hit. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Sogard was 0 for 3 on Tuesday night, and then came in as a pinch runner. And played a little bit of second base last night, got an at bat, so 0 for 4 in the series. A little pop up. Chris will grab this one. 2 outs.
9 batters and 6 fly ball outs of the 9 of the outs that he has recorded, he being Martinez.
Now batting center fielder, number 4, Coco Chris.
Coco in the first inning hit a ball hard, but right at the center fielder. Moss hit a ball hard in the second inning at the right fielder. But nothing hard hit here in the third. Curveball that spins inside. Coco is 0 for 10 in the series. He's with 4 runs and 13 hits total so far in the series. Martinez goes for a little walk, falls behind 2-0 in the count.
It's a simple change-up grip.
And he missed now. It's 3-0.
What, 2 walks and blast? How about that?
There you go.
There's the 3 runs. Sam Fall's capable, or maybe he gets on and let Donaldson do the blasting. He's just need to find a way to get on the scoreboard.
And a 4-pitch walk, so a couple of walks here in the third.
Before the ball crossed the plate, Mike Maddox was off his perch heading out to talk to his right-hander.
As we showed you the numbers this year for Martinez, a lot of walks. 54 walks now in what is 125 innings. That's a bunch, but the hand on the shoulder is going to make everything okay.
And a 4-run lead also makes it pretty good. If you're a pitching coach, you simply say, do you realize that's a 4 in the first inning and you're walking batters? Conversation, Gary Cederstrom and Mike Maddox. Maybe wishing him a good year. Maybe they're not going to see each other after this today. Done a great job, Gary. Just call some close pitches.
So see if Sam Fold can come through. Came through last night with the RBI single. The A's carried all the way into the 9th inning. First pitch to Fold is a ball.
Now still amazed at the outfield shallow, which is understandable. Fold does not hit a lot of home runs, but boy, the quickness, the ball in the gap. It's going to roll forever and roll quickly. Sam could get one elevated into one of the gaps. He is going to have a couple of runs quickly.
Count even now, 1-1. Fold fouled out to the catcher in the first inning. So he is 1 for 10 in the series. Yet overcast day at the Coliseum today. Middle of September. Full rips one into the right field corner. Fair ball. One run's going to score. Smolinski hustles it back in. They're waving Coco home. The throw to the plate is not in time, and it's a 2-run triple for Sam Fold.
Sam Fold has been the offense. You mentioned the 2-out run scoring single last night and getting a 2-1 pitch from Martinez, fastball, and hooked it down the line. Fortunately, 2 outs. Coco Crisp at first running on contact. And down in the corner, the only problem, he hit it so hard that Raul can get to the ball quickly and get it back in. And there's going to be a play at the plate, but the play had to be made quickly at the plate. It could not be held on by the catcher. So that is exactly what the A's were hoping to do, especially with a couple of walks in the inning. Norris is going to score easily. It's Coco from first base is the one that where there's going to be a play at the plate.
So 1-0 to Donaldson. Donaldson did not go, and now it's 2-0. So both the walks scored on the 4th triple of the year for Sam Fuld. Center field. Martin going back. Still going back. Near the wall. Makes the catch. Side retired. Sam Fuld 2-run triple. So we're going to the 4th. It's now the Rangers 4 and the A's 2. Here's our Ford right choice. Goes back to last night, and we thought it was the best start that we've seen from Jeff Samardzija with the Athletics. Man, he was good. 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks, 116 pitches. So the numbers were there, but just watching him pitch, that his stuff was the best we've seen. Everything was working, throwing strikes.
No walks again, and 10 strikeouts. About that last 5 starts, 44 strikeouts, 3 walks. I mean, that's Sean Doolittle type work as far as the strikeout to walk ratio. But more importantly, right now, Sonny Gray, a new lease on life, and he has settled down since giving up 4 in the first inning, and that is important. He becomes a long man after a starter and trying to keep the zeros on the board while his offense comes back.
So 4-2, top of the 4th. Where the strikeouts came. A lot of fastballs.
Splitter was a good one. That was his last strikeout, it seemed. And
so a base hit for Ua. He's 2 for 2. I think the fact that quite a few of his strikeouts came with the fastball, because his splitter is a real good strikeout pitch for him, but the fastball last night, that shows you A, how hard he was throwing, and B, how much movement he had with his fastball.
Well, the fact that he can elevate, he's over the 200 innings, still throwing strong, and especially up in the zone with the fastball. And it was a great outing. Just unfortunate he got another no decision.
5 innings now for Samardzija on the season. 190 strikeouts, so he's got a pretty good shot to get to 200 strikeouts. Adam Rosales grounded out to end the first inning. Roy is the runner at first with Sardinas in the on-deck circle. So Sonny Gray right back into the stretch. Fastball just a touch low. Adam Rosales is taking a long look down to third base, but there's no signs being given. At least there wasn't the last couple. Moss is under it, and that's the first out.
I just think Adam Rosales is a nice guy. I want to recognize Gary Pettis down to third. And
hey, Gary.
Yeah, Gary, I like you. Can you just give me some sign? Fake it, you know.
Go through something.
Now batting.
Gary just wants to raise the arm, get the arm going. There's a couple of signs. Now Adam said, why him? Why not me?
The chance of those signs
meaning it.
Although who knows, probably a hit and run now to make us look bad. Sandina is grounded out to Sogard in the second inning.
How about these signs? Del Rice, Cleveland.
Yeah.
He goes through all these signs. And everybody try to pick him up, and he go clap his hand. That was a sign. One clap, a couple clap, and that was what it was. I mean, oh, he's going to this, going to that, and he, hey, come on. It's a hit and run. So they try to make them difficult, but they're really very simple. They have to be simple. Because when a runner first base has to look at the first base coach and say, what did he give?
And you see it a lot, too.
And then first base coach has to know the signs to confirm what the third base coach did.
I like when guys get in the box and there's nobody on, nobody out, and they will look down to the coach and they'll wait for something. I guess it's really just sort of it's like a baseball thing to do, is to look down at the third base coach.
Somebody even figured out the number of hand signs given now in a game or throughout a season. Statistically, percentage of signs given per game. That's another stat.
Probably out there somewhere.
It is. Just heard it yesterday, I think.
Lowry out at second, back to first, not quite in time. Sardina is on a fielder's choice, 2 outs.
Another good play by Lowry. No chance for the double play, and then the ball to his right. That Sogard did try to complete the double play. And the first base coach in Cleveland, Kirby Farrell, he would confirm a sign by winking, but he wore sunglasses. So every time he'd give the sign, he'd have to put the sunglasses up and then wink. I think that's kind of a giveaway. You know? So, you know, with Benji can't do it at first base because he's wearing sunglasses. Pettis at third, but Benji would be the one.
The old wink.
Yeah, the old wink, but it's hard to wear sunglasses and have the guy see the wink. So Benji just goes over and tells him.
First pitch to Martin is in first strike. My college coach used to sit in the dugout, and he had a third base coach. And everybody would think the third base coach was giving the signs, but he was actually giving the signs from the dugout. So instead of looking at third, you'd be like looking at the dugout. But the problem is if you weren't in your home dugout, your home ballpark, what if the dugout was on the first base side, which it was? So then, to get the sign, you'd want people to think the third base coach was giving it, but you'd be looking in the first base dugout. So you had to like turn your head a little. But I was thinking, aren't we overdoing this just a little bit?
So. I like it with Beltre's at third, and Say Mike Geiger will go over and talk to the runner third belt, ready, just get right in the conversation. What are you talking about?
Illegal. 0-2 to Leonis Martin. Runner goes, pitches high. Norris juggles it and then drops it. So it's going to be a stolen base for Sardinas.
And another 2-strike stolen base, at least attempt, and this time it was successful because Norris could not get the ball out of his glove. And a lot of this is because expect it's going to be some sort of an off-speed pitch, but Sardinas also trying to get in scoring position, which the pitch was not even one that Martin would swing at or could swing at.
Pitch, good sharp curveball, but Martin lays off. Martinez grounded to the pitcher and bunted out. Gray fielded that one as well, so 0 for 2. He is 2 for 11 in the series with 4 strikeouts. Fastball is low, so 3-2 now with Elvis Andrus hoping to get a chance to hit.
Well, from 0-2 to 3-2, and on the 0-2 pitch it was high, a stolen base. All of a sudden with the runner at first versus the runner at second, now Sonny Gray has to make a quality pitch to try to avoid another 2-out hit.
Here it is, and he missed just a little bit high, I guess. First walk issued by Sonny Gray to go along with his 3 strikeouts. So 2 on, 2 out for Anders.
Back door, the other thing could have been high. It looked like it was on the plate. Just can't believe a catcher's got to set off the plate out of the strike zone. And when he doesn't move, and I don't know, I would think Derek Norris would be asking Gary Cederstrom as far as a location where he called it out of the strike zone.
Plenty of speed on the bases with Sardinas and Martin. Andrus a single and a strikeout so far today. Pulls off a curveball, missed it. 0-1.
Going back to last at bat, some very good curveballs thrown by Sonny Gray to Elvis Andrus. And this is a very good curveball. Norris talking to Gray, and did not look like a cross up. He handled it nicely, so I don't know what the concern might be. But the concern is activity in the A's bullpen.
And that would be Dan Otero.
Well, the phone rings, you just never know. 4th inning, Sonny Gray pitching, you wouldn't think it, but this is an important game, and Bob Melvin, I'm sure, does not want to see it get out of hand. Especially after the A's have cut the score in half.
And when you're playing game 152 and you're tied in the wild card standings, you do manage a little more with a little more urgency. Two and one now. No, call the strike. 1-2. How about that? Andrus is going to go for a walk.
A very casual delayed call, or at least the call that we saw from Gary Cederstrom, because pitch was there and he figured, well, he didn't call the 3-2 on Martin, but hesitation, call went the A's way.
Blocked nicely by Norris. Sardinas is going to try for third. Trying for second is Martin, and he just gets in. A little risky base running, but it worked for the Rangers.
Well, the trailing runner Martin had to wait to see what Sardinas was going to do, and Derek Norris a slight hesitation himself because he looked to third and then quickly to second base. That's a quick tag by Sogard, and I don't know if they're looking at it. Sonny Gray not quite back on the mound yet. Maybe just to see if there's going to be a question. Derek Norris thought he got him at second. Yes, no challenge.
Another wild pitch for Sonny Gray. Now second and third. Andrews reaches for that curveball, fouls it to the screen. There's 71 pitches for Sonny Gray. Had to work hard today. Have a 3-up, 3-down inning in the second inning. That one is lined towards center. Coco's going to get back there, and he makes the catch. Side retired, so the Rangers strand a couple of runners in scoring position. Bottom of the fourth coming up, 4-2 Texas.
The most popular way to follow the A's push to the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.tv game of the day, and much, much more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com.
Oh. She lost half of her hot dog bun before she got to it. I think mom or dad took care of it.
That's a good shot.
She looked at it and the bun fell apart, and that's just not right. Watch the piece of the bun.
Go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they gone.
It's not a hot dog anymore.
And it's not a 10-second rule. Hurry up and grab it.
Not at a ballpark.
No, I don't think so. Adam Dunn has now seen 7 pitches, all fastballs. Like every one fastballs from this right-hander.
And he struck out swinging in the second. That's the only strikeout that Nick Martinez has. He's walked 2. They both scored. That was last inning. And a fastball right by him, 94 miles an hour. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, it's a challenge fastball and slight uppercut swing from Adam Dunn, but that's his swing, always has been. But today, fastball, the pitch of choice for Martinez to Adam Dunn.
First pitch strike to Moss, who hit a line drive to Smolinski in right field. That was in the second inning. Shift is on with Odor playing well out into right field.
Well, the A's on Tuesday, the first game of the series, down 3-0, scored 2. Could have, probably should have scored at least the third to tie it, but that didn't happen. The Rangers added on 3 more, and the A's never came back, even though Brandon Moss hit his second home run as many games. But A's scored 2 thanks to the hit and 2 walks, but came close to giving up a couple more runs at the top of the inning. Did not happen, so the A's still trying to get back to even. This is what Brandon Moss did on Tuesday, went 39 games between home runs. The one he hit on Sunday, and Nick Tepich solo home run very deep in right center field, made it 6-3, but that's all the scoring for the Athletics on his birthday. Yes, his birthday.
This one is sky toward left. That's the second out. So Moss 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Lowry. Lowry hit a fly ball to center field in the second inning. He's hitless in the series, 0 for 8. He's scuffling. He's 1 for his last 20. His average at 241. First pitch from Martinez in for a strike. Just when you're struggling, always seems to be a first pitch strike. In the air to center field, routine for Martin. He's under it, he's got it, and Nick Martinez has his second 3-up, 3-down inning. We're on to the 5th from the O.co Coliseum. 4-2 Texas. Our AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to CSNCA fan photo. Make sure your name and your hometown are written down for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Today's fan photo comes from Laura, who lives in Sacramento. It's Laura and Kenny right here at the O.co Coliseum. Thanks for the photo. We appreciate it. A's fans trying to keep their hopes up. Clinging to a wild card spot, tied with the Kansas City Royals for the #1 wild card spot, with the Mariners 2 back. There's the Royals and the Tigers fighting for the AL Central. Both those teams have the day off. Orioles are in, Angels are in, the Nationals are in so far.
happy to be in, but worried about the excess time off. But I think it's always good to get in as quickly as possible. Even with the A's winning the last day of the season in 2012, that it still had the time off and didn't really help them that much.
Now there's two big ifs for the Athletics. Obviously the first one is if you get into the wild card. The second one is if you win that wild card game. Even though you're not going to have home field advantage, I think the wild card team could have a little advantage because they will have played a game. Swing and a miss by Odor. That wild card game is on Tuesday. The AL Division Series starts on Thursday. So again, you got to win that game. You got to get in and win it. If you do,
Adrian Beltre.
high fastball. Yep. And if you do, Ray, instead of sitting for 3 days and then playing a game, you're going to play on that Tuesday. And I think that could be an advantage. And listen, we're not grasping for positives here. I do think it could help.
And I agree with you.
But again, that's you got to win.
Yeah.
You got to get there and you got to win that game.
Well, and you think about it. I know people are watching and saying, what are they talking about? But I mean, these are the remaining schedules for the Mariners, the Royals, and what they're going to be dealing with. And the A's know their own schedule going through the next weekend with the Rangers. But the one thing about the A's and those two teams there, it's going to be meaningful. Every game's going to be important. And nothing against the teams that have clinched, but I mean that's always going to be a positive to clinch early and be able to set up rotation and do all those things. But I think we've seen on the course, even the Angels in 2002 were the wild card winners and they were world champions. And there's something to be said about trying to become a wild card and having that continuing play and playing for something. And it's definitely playing all the way to the end from the A standpoint, and it probably will from maybe all these teams.
And that's a strike. Hey, who's to say that there won't be a tiebreaker game for that second wild card? That's what happened last year. These Texas Rangers had to play a tiebreaker game for the second wild card. And that would obviously be played on Monday. So there's all kinds of scenarios.
But the 3-0 was called a strike. And then that was a loud ball call by Gary Cederstrom. And normally an umpire doesn't say anything if it's not a strike. And so I think Beltre heard ball. Oh, you call that a strike? Beltre's going to have a good time regardless.
Here's Smolinski. Smolinski is 2 for 2, 2 singles, RBI, and a run scored, and he takes a first pitch strike from Sonny Gray. So those 3 division winners, the other 3 divisions not mentioned, are all still pretty close. You know about Detroit, Kansas City. That's just a half-game lead for the Tigers. Cardinals have a 2.5-game lead over Pittsburgh in the Central, and in the West, Dodgers with a 2-game lead over the Giants. Beltre's going to round second. He's going to go to third, and Jake Smolinski is 3 for 3. So another stress inning for Sonny Gray. He's now given up 8 hits.
Well, the 1-out walk on 5 pitches and a pitch that Smolinski could extend his arms, go out on a cut fastball and rake it in left center. And we are not surprised to see runners go first to third as Dan Otero quickly gets up in the bullpen. He should not need that much time to get loose. What Sonny Gray needs now is what he got back in the 3rd inning when he struck out a couple of batters.
And Sonny Gray has gone over 200 innings this year. He's got 4 1/3 today. So he's at 202 1/3. And he is set up to pitch the final regular season game in Texas. First pitch to Haley's is foul back. So that means he would pitch Tuesday against the Angels here at the Coliseum. Haley's with a RBI single and a strikeout. Beltre at third, Smolinski at first. Pop up foul. Sonny Gray jumps ahead 0-2.
Nice play.
Yeah.
Nice catch.
Josh Donaldson, all-star jersey.
That's right. Got the glove, got the Donaldson all-star jersey, and happy to get a souvenir.
Pitch, foul back again.
Sonny Gray making some good pitches and getting the ball in the air from the hitter, but they're not staying in play. I mean, the infield fly ball is actually what you want, or ground ball double play, strikeout, any of those three. These are playing back for the double play. It seems like the Rangers hitters are susceptible to the high fastball from Sonny Gray. They're swinging at the high fastball and not making contact.
So 1-2 now with Ryan Rua in the on deck circle. One out. That one bounced toward Lowry. He's got it. Shovels to second for one, on to first, not in time. Was going in hard was Smolinski, and he did what he was supposed to do. And by breaking up the double play, Beltre scores, and it's 5-2. So really, if there's ever a time to really go in hard, sliding at second base on a double play, that was the time to do it.
Well, Jed Lowry getting the feed underhand, and of course that slowed everything down and let Smolinski get on top of Sogard. And Sogard had to just take it and throw it, and really nothing on the throw. So the walk comes around to hurt the Athletics. You're right. There's they get a lot of high fives, which they did in the dugout after Smolinski went in hard. This is a catcher, but he's got young legs.
At least he wasn't running on the grass. I don't think I've ever seen anybody run on the infield grass as much as he did. He gets the RBI, his 6th of the year, Tomas Telis. Rua has a couple of singles and an RBI. Coco goes back, stops. Now in a couple steps, he's got it. Side retired, a run with a hit and a walk and an RBI fielder's choice for the Rangers. They lead 5-2 after 4.5. A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. 5-2, the Rangers lead the A's, so the A's are going to have to come back and avoid being swept.
Thank you for participating in our Throwback Thursday silent Friday.
This last half inning here at the ballpark was the Patelco Throwback Thursday inning, which is always kind of fun. They do that on Thursdays.
And the silent half inning.
Well, they do it pretending throwback like the old stadiums where there was not a lot of entertainment going on in between innings. It was just quiet ballpark sounds.
Crickets.
On that occasion. First pitch to Norris is a fastball a bit high, so the A's trailing 5-2.
Well, when it was not quiet between innings, Dick Callahan, the PA announcer, made the announcement and to congratulate Harold Miller for his 48th year anniversary on this date, 1966. Harold Miller came to the Coliseum, and boy, said his first work day was a football game. The Raiders, I think he had Raiders in Kansas City. So Harold Miller, 48 years with the Athletics, or in the Coliseum anyway, and he's down in the press lounge, always with a smile on his face.
One of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and checks everybody in the press lounge. And he will tell you how he feels about last night's games, how he feels about today's game, which is it's worth going in there.
That's right.
Because he does it in a very sweet, kind way. He may say, I didn't like what happened last night.
But in a nice way.
Very nice.
But he likes the fact that Derek Norris led off with a walk as he did in the third inning, and that started a 2-run inning for the Athletics. About Derek Norris leading off and Martinez having a tough time throwing a strike. A's will take another base runner.
So the A's got Norris home after the leadoff walk in the third. Try to do it again here in the fifth. Trailing by 3 as Callaspo steps in. And Callaspo takes a little bit low. So just one hit allowed by Martinez, and that was the 2-run triple by Fulton. So the Rangers have 8 hits, the A's have 1. And now it's 2-0.
Well, and just like it happened, 2-0 to Callaspo in the third inning. There goes Mike Maddox out to visit. Basically, the reason the pitching coach goes out and Solis goes out, he's trying to break up this monotony of throwing pitch after pitch out of the strike zone. That's 6 consecutive, and again, we have seen hitters that sometimes when the pitcher is having a tough time throwing a strike, you definitely don't want to help the pitcher by just swinging at anything. And Mike Maddox, I'm sure, as pitching coach would say to Martinez, you can't defend a walk. If you don't throw a strike, put the ball in play. Tough for the defense to work.
So 2-0 to Callaspo, Sogard to follow, and then Crisp. That one hit high in the air to right field, hit pretty well. Smolinski going back, and he's right in front of the out-of-town scoreboard, and he makes the catch. So Callaspo put a charge into it. It comes up short.
But it was a fastball. It was down the middle. In case Callaspo was going to take a strike, he didn't, and almost hit his 5th home run, but almost, I guess, only in horseshoes. But that high enough that will be handled easily in right field.
So here's Sogard, who popped out to the shortstop in the third inning. And he hits one hard into the glove of Rosales. He tags Norris, and that's a double play, and that ends the bottom of the 5th. So goes it for the Athletics in this series. 5-2 Texas after 5. Authentic fans know where to find the best deal in Bay Area baseball. Comcast Sportsnet California's Authentic Fan Fridays at the Coliseum. Tomorrow, the Phillies are in town, and you're going to get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, a grab bag full of authentic gear, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher, all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is Comcast Sportsnet's Authentic Fan Friday. Log on to csncalifornia.com for details. Remember, that game tomorrow night starts at 6:35, first pitch, fireworks after the game, and the Phillies are in town. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So Dan Otero comes in. So 5 innings for Sonny Gray. So Otero will face Rosales, Sardinez, and Martin. Here's the breakdown for Sonny Gray. 91 pitches, 5 runs, 4 earned, a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts.
And hoping right now for no decision. Pitcher of record, but the A's still have a chance to come back, and kind of always look positive till it's all over.
So 1-2 to Adam Rosales. That's a base hit, left center field. So Rosales has his first hit.
Another 2-strike hit.
Yep, hit number 9 for the Rangers.
I saw a steady 9 in the first inning of 2-strike hits, and I guess on a 1-2, that's a pretty good fastball for a hitter to swing at and make solid contact.
So here's Sardinez, the switch hitter. Saw a great quote from the interim manager for the Rangers, Tim Bogard. We talked about it on Tuesday, Ray, about losing 100 games.
Yep.
Well, the Rangers, after today, will have 10 games left. And they're 59 and 92. So they would have to have a really bad finish to lose 100 games. Tim Bogart said, quote, "It's a bad thing to lose 100 games. Is 99 much better? Well, it sounds much better. It looks, it sounds, it tastes a lot better."
That's right.
And he's right.
That's right.
One loss, yeah, between 99 and 100, but man, that triple-digit loss, that just, and it's not going away. It's always going to be in that column.
Exactly. No, I agree 100%, and it's just like hitting 299, driving in 99. In those cases, you want to see the triple, but not in that loss column.
But you ever, I mean, have you ever, if you're talking about teams, bad years, whatever, you ever hear somebody say they lost 99 games? Mm-hmm. No, but you hear them say they lost 100 games.
That's right. If you lose 100, that means you only won 62. But the 100 is not something you want attached to. You're right. And really, it offers Tim Bogart and his team a motivation to play hard whenever it's really been eliminated, because coming in 92 losses. Remember 2012, last 3 games, Rangers only needed 1 win, and they got 3 losses from the A's. The A's needed the 3 wins to win it. They did. And Rangers coming into this series having lost 92, and they lose 2 out of 3 or even take a sweep, then all of a sudden they lose 5 more and they lose 100. So that is a great quote, great incentive motivation for the team.
One and two the count to Sardinas. Martin, the leadoff hitter in the on-deck circle. Rosales, the leadoff single here in the 6th inning. Got a decent lead. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. One out here in the 6th.
There's another high pitch that's a swing and a miss, and what we've seen from the Rangers this afternoon. Sometimes it's tough to pitch up in the zone. It's nice to get no contact and a strikeout.
Martin 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch out. Quick throw, and Rosales has to dive back, and Carrasco got a good quick tag down. Rosales just gets back.
I thought he was going to be running on a hit and run.
Martin gets jammed, loops a little foul up over the A's dugout. Fernando Abad starts to throw. One and two now. Crowd this afternoon, 17,574. That one's driven to right, hit well. Fold racing back. Fold, it's up over his head. Bounces back toward the field, and Rosales is going to round third. He's going to score, and it's 6-2 Rangers. So an RBI double for Martin. Fold got back. He kind of reached up for it, and then it kicked off the wall, rolled away from him back toward the infield, and that helped Rosales have a chance to score.
And the unfortunate thing, a pitch that was left at, another 2-strike pitch that belt high. And Martin, who had a tough day, a couple of easy ground outs, but this one, elevated fastball, and Fold just got turned around because the ball was hit so hard.
And Martin gets his 39th RBI. And now Andrus will hit with Odor in the on-deck circle.
Rangers today are doing exactly what, and they've done it, did it on Tuesday night, what Bob Melvin has talked about all season. You score early, you add on. You don't just be satisfied with what you've scored, and Rangers did it on Tuesday night whenever they scored the 3 and then added 3 more the next half inning. Today, 4 in the first and now 1 in each of the last 2 innings. for the Rangers. And that's after the A's got to within 2 runs.
Andrus is 1 for 3 today. Single, strikeout, fly ball to center field. Now Cook joins Abad. Norris thought about firing down to second. Martine's got 28 steals. They want to keep an eye on him here. And the A's are doing that. Sogard trying to keep him close. Donaldson dives, can't get it. Base hit left field. Martine is going to score without a throw, and it's 7-2. Andrus has an RBI single.
No point from the yard.
So the Rangers just keep putting it to the A's. They've scored twice here in the 6th, and Bob Melvin is going for Fernando Abad. So tough outing for Otero. He faces 4 batters, 3 hits, a couple of runs allowed, and now it's 7-2. We'll be back.
Galaxy's Darren Farr invited to attend, and fans are encouraged to dress as their favorite Star Wars characters for this fun family event. Fans can meet Star Wars characters during the game. Everyone at the ballpark will enjoy post-game fireworks set to the music from Star Wars. Tickets are going fast, so visit athletics.com/fireworks. Maybe we'll have Jedi up here.
Yep.
How about that? Some Star Wars characters come up, see BI. Oh, maybe. Can they talk through those masks?
No, they just make like weird sounds, I think.
Yeah. That would work out well.
I'm going to be here for those fireworks.
Well, you're going to be here to see the Phillies for the first time.
Phillies for the first time, and don't forget the 18.
That's right. Oh, that's right. I almost did. Thanks for reminding me.
Don't forget the 18, and then fireworks.
A lot of good things happening on Friday night. Big weekend.
First pitch, runner goes. Good throw, and Andrus is out. So Andrus took off immediately. He says he's safe. Everybody's looking around just a little bit. They're on the phone. Andrus is going to hang around second base a little bit. Let's check it out.
It's a hit and run, and Andrus looking back, but I tell you, a pretty good throw right on the bag. Great throw, and the only thing he thought maybe he was tagged on the shoulder with his hand getting on the bag is inconclusive. Back in the dugout. I'd say that's a busted hit and run, and Derek Norris made a perfect throw.
0-1 to Odor. Odor is 0 for 3, but he reached out a fielder's choice and scored in the first inning. For 12 in the series is Rougned Odor. impressed. He's 20 years old and don't want to jump the gun too much, but looks like he could be a keeper. He doesn't look overmatched at the plate, that's for sure.
A lot of confidence, and Jurickson Profar might have to find another position. Or at least they have some options to do what they might want to do. Because this young man has got the chance to play, and when that happens, that's all you do. If you want the chance, Odor's taken advantage of that opportunity.
He's played in 105 games. He's got 12 doubles, 6 triples, 8 home runs. One and two now.
I wonder if the foul ball, the swing by Odor hit Derek Norris, a little time taken between pitches, and with Oakland umpire going out. Rangers have had a few hitters who had huge swings and made contact with A's catcher. Martin did it last night with Soto.
Nice play by Callaspo, but Odor hustling, and Obad, who, and we've seen it, when Obad falls off the mound, he falls a long ways toward third base, and it does cost him at times, and it cost him right there.
And at the last instant, he tried to tag Odor, who was hustling down the line. Callaspo, a nice play, but I guess he had already touched the base, touched first base by the time Abad tagged him, and it's going to be a one-hitter, or at least close, but did not get there.
And Bob Melvin's coming out, and he's going to get cooked. So Abad faces one hitter, gives up an infield hit. Cook coming in to face Beltre.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
So a couple of runs in for the Rangers on 4 hits this inning, and they're still batting. Beltre
Adrian
step in against Cook. 12 hits for Texas, 1 hit for the Athletics. Beltre's been on base twice, a single and a walk, and he has scored twice, and he swings and misses. So Cook, 52nd appearance, 1-3 with a 3.51 ERA. Cook pitched 2/3 of an inning on Tuesday.
Jason Hamill will start with, he's going to be back for the birth of his second child. I think he's leaving today for the weekend. So Jason Hamill is throwing and could be available to come in the game since Drew Pomeranz will be making the start on Saturday.
It'll be Lester Friday, Pomeranz Saturday, Kazmir on Sunday. 3 lefties against the Phillies. They will counter with David Buchanan, Jerome Williams, A.J. Burnett.
Jerome Williams again.
Yeah, Beltre chases a high pitch, so Cook strikes him out to end the inning. 2 more runs for the Rangers. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. 7-2 Texas.
Get off at a good start today. They did. First batter, 1 pitch, 1 out. But after that, not such a good afternoon, as the Rangers have put up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned in the inning. And unfortunately, a whole bunch of those came like 4 consecutive hits with 2 strikes. There's the passed ball that allowed a run to score, but it's just a tough inning. But the A's did come back to make it 4-2. Sonny Gray would add 1 more in the 5th, and he's out of the game. But the Rangers jumping on the Athletics in the first inning with a 4 spot before Nick Martinez took them out.
Martinez has walked 3, struck out 2, given up 1 hit, a 2-run triple to Sam Fuld. Coco a line out and 1 of those 3 walks. The A's have been out hit by the Rangers in this series, 34-14.
Don't win a lot of games that way,
no.
Unfortunately.
Outscored 19-6. There's a base hit for Coco Crisp. Good start here in the 6th inning.
High fastball, 2-1, took advantage of it, back up the middle. Coco, a walk, scored a run, and now base hit to lead off of this 6th inning.
So here's Fuld, 2nd hit for the A's. Sardina is the 3rd baseman, even with the bag, and the first pitch is outside. Outfield pretty much straight away for Fuld. Really shallow. High in the air. Martin shading his eyes, fighting it. And he's got it. So I'm fighting that sun, but then he also put up his right hand, and it looked like he was maybe just letting Rua know that he had it. It's been periodic sunshade today.
And always good to see with the glove. You can see the shade on the face of the outfielder as he makes the play. It does have the sunglasses, but wraparounds do not have the kind of UV I think some of the players need to block the sun.
Here's Donaldson. Donaldson takes a strike in the outside corner. Donaldson a ground out and a fly out. Overall 3 for 10 in the series. Donaldson still hanging in there in the league leaders in the American League. Tied for 9th in home runs and RBIs. Kirkman, the lefty, starts to throw in the Rangers bullpen. Donaldson also 8th in the league in runs scored. Another very fine all-around season. Last year, 301, 24 home runs, 93 RBIs. So the power numbers up a little bit this year. Batting average down some. And now 2-1.
The aggressiveness of Josh Donaldson we have seen. Of course, always kind of compare a little bit to Jose Bautista, and always look like they're ready to hit, but disciplined enough to not swing at bad pitches. That's always the key.
Lee's out to talk to Martinez. Martinez walked 2 1/3. They both scored. Then he walked Norris leading off the 5th. Norris was doubled off on a line drive to Rosales. In the air to right, hustling back is Smolinski, still going back, and it's over his head off the wall. Martin gets it back in quickly, and they'll hold Coco at third. So an opposite field double for Donaldson.
Well, very close to being a 2-run home run with the opposite field power. And looking at Donaldson, they might have thought he got enough to get it up over the wall. The high wall kept it from going out, but Donaldson with a fastball and once again showing the power. And I think that swing and his takeoff, he thought he had it very close, about 1.5 feet from going out over the fence at the 362. Good job of Martin backing up to keep Coco from scoring. He had to make sure the ball definitely kept carrying. And when you're down 5, you don't want to try to run into a possible double play. So now the A's see if Adam Dunn gets fastballs again and see what it does with it.
First pitch to Dunn. Inside, check this one.
Two big runs for the A's sitting out there, and just need to keep trying to add and decrease the deficit.
Swing and miss again, right past Adam Dunn, which we've seen that today in his at-bats against Nick Martinez. He has struck out twice, only 2 strikeouts that Martinez has.
10 pitches to Adam Dunn, 10 fastballs.
And another one. So 1-2 the count.
I don't know if Adam Dunn is thinking, as this is the 3rd consecutive 1-2 count, if he's going to flip something other than a fastball, but they have not so far. He and the catcher Tellez.
He stayed with a fastball. This one a little up. 2-2 the count. another fastball. Coco at third, Donaldson at second. He's down by 5.
You know, with these at-bats by Dunn really kind of proving that the hitter, since fastball looks fastball, makes an adjustment, then maybe the fastballs aren't going to have the success that Martinez has had today with Adam Dunn. So maybe if he throws a changeup, be a 3-run home run.
Broken bat pop-up, and Andrus has it right in front of Odor. So the shift helped the Rangers there. If there's no shift, that's going to be only a bloop single, but Dunn cannot get the run home.
Now, broke his bat and could not hit it hard enough, far enough to get it out. So a lefty coming in and Brandon Moss going out. Also due up, and that's why the change is being made. And there's going to be a pinch hitter, Johnny Gomes, for Brandon Moss.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Presented by Kingsford Capital Management. This Sunday, September the 21st, at the A's versus the Phillies game, 10,000 fans will go home with a 2014 team photo, a perfect souvenir for collecting autographs. For information and tickets, head to athletics.com/tickets. Good weekend. Fireworks tomorrow. Got the Jedis out tomorrow. A lot of stuff happened this weekend, including some wins, we hope.
Yep. Interleague wins.
That's right.
So here's Gomes pinch hitting for Moss against the lefty Michael Kirkman. These need a big hit here to get themselves back in the game. Gomes 0 for 3 with a walk in the series. This pitch is a fastball high from Kirkman. Appearance for Kirkman, just 2 2/3 innings, specialty guy. Faced one hitter last night, gave up a hit through 5 pitches. And now 2-0. Five 2/3 innings for Martinez. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Trying for his 4th win of the year. He's got plenty of run support today. Johnny Gomes takes a fastball first strike. Didn't have to be.
No, he didn't. They put down the ball, but called by Gary Cederstrom, and Johnny Gomes really doesn't do much, and especially when these things happen, he just looks disgusted and does not show up to an umpire, but took a pitch, trying to get it to be 3-0, instead now 2-1 with a gift call.
A little tapper foul. So the count even now, 2-2 with runners at second and third. Tollison, the right-hander, number 37, is warming up in the Rangers bullpen. Moss was 0 for 2. Being pinch hit for here in the 6th inning. Two pitch, slider, strike 3 call right there. So Gomes strikes out, and the A's strand runners at second and third. On to the 7th, 7-2, Rangers lead.
Beer braised bratwurst, say that 3 times. German potato salad, apple bacon, cabbage, and other authentic German food items at select areas around the ballpark. Saturday, 10,000 fans will receive an A's Oktoberfest time courtesy of Cache Creek Casino Resort. And fans may purchase a special ticket to attend a Brewmaster meet and greet that includes a commemorative Oktoberfest ceramic stein. For tickets, visit athletics.com/Oktoberfest. Beer braised bratwurst. Hey, I forgot about Saturday, Oktoberfest. We got fireworks, Oktoberfest. Give away photo, man. All weekend long, Oktoberfest.
Well, yeah, Oktoberfest is not a one-day thing.
Is it
it's named after a month. So,
man, it's not even October, so we get to start it in September.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's all right. Jason Hamill's the new pitcher.
Defer to someone from Wisconsin to learn about Oktoberfest.
Johnny Gomes in left field. And Jason Hamill on the mound. So Hamill out of the bullpen. A little work in. Facing Jake Smolinski, who is 3 for 3, 3 singles, RBI, and a run scored. 5 for 11 in the series. Coco coming in, make it 6 for 12. Smolinski has a 4-hit game. How about that? So the young man who got his first major league home run earlier in this series now has a 4-hit game.
This one the softest of the 4, but still got the job done as Coco broke in. Not quite get to it.
Here's Tomas Taillez, who has got a couple of RBIs. He's got a single. Reached on a fielder's choice. So he's had a nice ball game. Bottom of the order has done quite a bit of damage. Well, everybody's done a fair amount of damage. 13 hits for the Rangers. Smolinski, Taillez, and Rua have 7 hits between them. So Ray, if I would have told you first week of the season that 3 guys that are going to hurt the A's and the Rangers lineup in September this year are going to be Smolinski, Taillez, and Rua.
And I'd said, who?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, what a play. Fan just down to our left in what we like to call foul ball alley.
Yeah.
And right where he's at, and about from there, about 3 sections down, a whole bunch of fly balls go up there.
Straight back, and boy, did he jump, made a great play.
That was a nice play.
A's cap, A's t-shirt, got the glove, made a lot of people happy.
That's the spot right there where a whole bunch of foul balls go every game.
Young man down to our left, which would be kind of in between the home plate area and dugouts. Got his flag that he waves in between innings. Sits down, puts his glove on his hand, and hopes for a foul ball.
Well, on a day like today where it's not a huge crowd, there's openings down there. You can sit in that front row and just wait it out. Taillez strikes out looking. 7 strikeouts for A's pitchers today.
A good curveball from Jason Hamill, and right over, and a call by Gary Cederstrom. He liked it eventually and makes the call.
So here's Rua, who is 2 for 3. Bends back out of the way, but takes a strike. Single in a run in the first, single in the fourth, hit a fly ball to center field in the 5th. Pitching first strike, so the count 0-2. Two teams will play next weekend in Arlington. That's a 4-game series. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Swings and misses, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
The pitch to Smolinski was up in the zone. He lofted to center field, but the last 2 excellent breaking pitches, both hitters swinging. Actually, the second one swung, the first one called strike 3 to Taillez, and good over-the-top curveballs by Jason Hamill.
So Rosales steps in. It's funny, so many questions. Think about finishing up that 4-game series in Arlington. When that game on Sunday is over, will the A's be flying home? Will they be flying home and working out on Monday? Will they be flying elsewhere right from Arlington?
To work out elsewhere?
To work out elsewhere. Could be flying to Kansas City. Could be flying to Detroit. Could be flying to Seattle.
And the last thing they want to be doing is flying home and packing up to leave on Monday.
No, it's not
to go home. No, that's not part of the scenario. So still in, the ball is in their court. Still up to the A's as far as what that decision is going to be.
Rosales reaches for the breaking ball, rolls it foul. Yeah, the scenario you want is to fly home on Sunday night and have a workout in this ballpark on Monday and hopefully be playing Tuesday. 1-2 the count to Rosales, who singled and scored in the 6th. Swing and a miss. So Hamill gives up a leadoff hit to Smolinski and then strikes out the next 3 hitters. So we reached the 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum. 7-2 Rangers lead. And powered by Toyota Prius. Day baseball from the O.co Coliseum. Crowd of over 17,000 today. Right now, the A's got work to do. They trail 7-2. That guy is not concerned about the score. He's just he's on a happy camp.
He was enjoying Motown.
He was having a good time. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert, Sean Tollison, comes in. Tollison pitched 2/3 of an inning last night. Got a couple of outs, gave up a couple of hits. But all in all, a good season. Been a workhorse, 61st appearance. And he's going to face Lowry, Norris, and Callaspo. Lowry has hit a pair of fly balls to center field, 0 for 2.
What you just said has been very important. It was for Nick Martinez as his line. Of course, he's in line for the win, but 14 fly ball outs while Nick Martinez pitched in the 6 innings that he pitched, or 5 2/3. 14 fly ball outs, 1 ground ball out by Donaldson in the first inning. And unfortunately, since the line drive by Sam Fuld, most of the fly balls were just routine.
That one grounded past Odor, and a base hit for Lowry. It's the 3rd inning in a row. The A's have had their leadoff man aboard, so they're trying to get something going.
Fastball down low, and all right, just dropped the head of the bat on it. You see him get a hit. So Dora felt that by diving, would not have enough time to get up and throw out Lowry. But when you're playing second, sometimes that dive can work because you're close to the bag anyway. But he opted not to dive.
So Norris will hit. Norris has walked twice. Scored a run in the 3rd. Just outside with the fastball to Tollison.
The best thing for the fans who have departed. Be listening on the way home and find out the A's have come back.
That's right.
I always like those kind of games.
Shouldn't leave.
understand if it's raining, but this is a beautiful day.
Four hits now for the Athletics after the Lowry base hit. Allison is the third pitcher of the afternoon for Texas. Kirkman got that final out in the sixth. Now Norris down 1-2. The Mariners will play tonight against the Angels, and also scheduled to pitch was Jared Weaver. He's been scratched. They're going to push him back a little bit. That doesn't necessarily help the Athletics either.
Yeah.
The Mariners, you'd probably rather face Wade LeBlanc than Weaver. Doesn't always mean anything, but on paper you'd certainly you don't want to. Weaver's won 17 games.
Now Wade LeBlanc has gone from the Angels to the Yankees to the Angels.
That's right.
And of course, after making a start in Garrett Richards' spot after his unfortunate injury didn't work out, so he was designated and then back in the organization.
Coco's ready to hit. He's 3 batters away. Tapped right up over the head of Gary Cedarstrom. So 2-2 to Norris with Callaspo waiting in the on-deck circle. Bullpen is quiet. Blocked nicely, but ends up popping way out in front of home plate and rolls back toward the mound. And Lowry advances to second. That one bounced so far out in front, you're never quite sure where the ball is going to go.
And the curveball, and the catcher just wants to do his job, the chest protector. And then must have been a hard chest protector. See, it's a new one. It's still hard. If it's soft like it's supposed to be, it bounces right in front of you, but that's a sign of like an unbroken in catcher's mitt. Too hard. The ball drops out, and this one dropped off his chest protector.
The 3-2 pitch is a curveball that's popped up into shallow left center. Again, Martin fighting that sun, but he's got it.
How about that? 3-2 curveball. And Derek Norris at least reacted, but not only was it a 3-2 curveball, the fact that it was a surprise maybe, but it was a strike. Had he not swung at it, it was going to be called strike 3. Right over the top, dropped it right in, and Derek Norris hit another fly ball.
So here's Callaspo. Well, you're right, Ray. You said it a fair amount lately. Just a lot of weak pop-ups, weak fly balls. First pitch off speed is in for a strike to Callaspo, who's 0 for 2. Hit a ball to the wall in right field in the 5th inning. That was caught. Callaspo in a deep slump. He's 4 for his last 43.
I don't remember, Kai, on the Patelco throwback, did the drummer discontinue drumming, beating the drum?
He's been working hard tonight, hasn't he?
Some play, he's out there somewhere. I mean, the great John Adams in Cleveland, he just bangs the drum occasionally whenever great things are happening for the Tribe. But our drummer here never stops. Maybe it's an automated drummer. He just pushes a button.
He's out in left field. Yeah. It's like the Energizer Bunny. There's a battery in his arm that just keeps hitting the drum. He's trying. He is trying everything.
Yeah.
thin out in the right field and left field bleachers today. Or you just paint. You just paint.
Somebody get a camera behind her. Let's see what she's painting. I mean, we don't want to see the easel in the front of it. Let's see the actual painting.
What could she possibly be painting? Very close pitch. Tollison wanted it. 2-2 the count.
Well, she's probably got about 3 hours to do a painting, and if she's outside the stadium afterwards, she'll probably see what she can get for it. Pitch just maybe a little bit too low, according to Gary Cederstrom. Maybe.
Lowry with his lead, 1 out. And now 3-2.
She throws another curveball now, which he might, because that seems to be the only pitch he can throw for a strike.
Long look in now. He's ready. Outfield shifted toward left center. Pitch to Callaspo. Off speed on 3-2, Ray. You either called it or you're surprised by it. Which one?
I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, because that's the only thing he can get over. Tim Bogart has sent enough.
Tollison.
There it is.
And a couple of outs.
See how badly fooled Callaspo was. Last thing he's looking for, but after Derek Norris got the curveball, he maybe should have been.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming into pitch protection, number
14th pennant race when the A's play host to the Angels, the final 3 regular season home games of this 2014 season. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. It's the A's and the Angels. 3-game set, postseason implications. The Angels are already in. A's trying to get in. Get your tickets now online at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 510-638-GO-A's. That'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then after the Wednesday game, the A's will fly to Arlington. So here's Neil Kotz, the lefty brought in, and the pinch hitter for the A's is Punto. Punto hitting for Sogard. Sogard went 0 for 2. Briefly on Thursday. 2/3 of an inning through just 6 pitches, so he's fresh.
Well, how many pitchers have the Rangers used? A whole bunch, and so Tim Bogart and Mike Maddox can just keep rotating as they did last night in the 8th inning. He used, what, 4 pitchers, 5 batters? A whole bunch of pitchers, but got through the inning. So an abundance of relievers will do for a manager and pitching coach.
Well, we've seen it in September with extended rosters. Managers said, I'm going to use them all. We saw Lloyd McClellan. Clemens do it, and we've seen Tim Bogart do it.
Really,
nothing wrong with that.
And nobody's done it better than Mike Scioscia in the Garrett Richards spot, where he's used as many as 8 relievers to win the game. Did it against the Athletics, starting Corey Rasmus.
Punto hits it hard, but foul down the third baseline. Punto trying to knock home Lowry with a 2-out hit. And now it's 2-2. Spencer Patton. Gotta have somebody up constantly. Swing and a miss. Punto strikes out. Runner stranded, and we are moving to the 8th inning. Rangers 7, A's 2.
If you're not a season ticket holder, you can still get 2014 postseason rights. Place a deposit on 2015 A's ticket plan. Secure your place in line for 2014 postseason tickets. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to athletics.com/deposit.
So Jason Hamill back to work. Nick Punto stays in the game at second base for Sogard, who we pinch hit for. Luis Sardinas. No, this is okay. Hamill came in the 7th inning, gave up a leadoff hit to Smolinski, but then struck out 3 in a row. Two pitch, curve, and a good one. Strike 3 call. 10 strikeouts by
Your
A's
attention,
pitchers.
please. For the Athletics, number 1, Nick
And the curveball continues to work well for Jason Hamill. Everything's working well, but how about the 12-6 Uncle Charlie right over the top and a good pitch? So Hamill 4 consecutive strikeouts after a bloop base hit by that guy, part of the law firm, Smolinski.
Here's the leadoff man, Martin. A couple of groundouts, a walk, and then an RBI double in the 6th. Texas scored 4 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. A's got theirs 2 runs in the 3rd. There is a bouncer. Punto cannot quite get it. Martin has his 2nd hit today. His 4th hit in the series. So 14 hits today for the Rangers and 36 hits in the series.
It's not a bad pitch by Jason Hamill, and Martin just hit down on it and hit the ball into the ground. Not a fly ball out. Hit the ball on the ground. You have a chance to get it through the infield, and that's what happened on that one.
So that'll bring up Elvis Andrus, who's had a good afternoon. He's 2 for 4, a couple of singles. One of them knocked in a run in the 6th. Fastball inside to Andrus. Elvis Andrus signed that long-term contract with the Texas Rangers, so he's going to be there a while. His contract, believe it or not, runs through 2022. It was an 8-year contract he signed for obviously big money.
He might have over 2,000 different walk-up music songs. He changes it quite often, which is fine. I mean, the guy goes 0 for 2, 0 for 3, change the walk-up music. That's maybe bring better luck. You're right. He is a shortstop that they signed very young and locked him up to a long-term contract. One thing Ron Washington always said, just make the routine plays. The spectacular plays will just happen. I think any infielder at any level just wants to make the routine plays.
This one tapped to Lowry. See if the A's could turn the double play out at second. Punto turns it. Teoscar digs it out. And that is a double play. 6-4-3. And the Rangers do not score. Bottom of the 8th coming up. A's down by 5.
Is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's our game summary for today, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 7-14-0 for the Rangers, 2-4-0 for the A's. Rangers scored 4 in the very first inning off Sonny Gray, who ended up giving up 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. Nick Martinez pitched into the 6th. 4-hit game for Jake Smolinski. And you see the A's offense in this series, 4 for 23 with runners in scoring position. So there's not a whole lot more you can say about the series. The A's have been completely outplayed, really, in all areas. Even when they got a sensational pitching performance by Samardzija, he's let that win get away. Chris Fold and Donaldson against Neil Kotz here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Waldo's got a single and a walk. He's also lined out. And he lines that one right into the glove of Adam Rosales. And that's out number 1. Coco can't believe it. So put together good at bat. Wait on a pitch. You'll line it the other way. And it goes right into the glove of the first baseman.
Well, that's the time you want to have a runner at first when the first baseman is holding the runner, but Rosales playing off the line. And maybe in an area that Coco thought it should have been a hit anyway, but played it perfectly. The defenses that seem to be doing that quite a bit.
Well, another reason why baseball can be so frustrating, because you can do everything right and still not succeed, and that's a perfect example. Rosales can't get this one, and Fold's going to have another hit. He's going to have a 1-out double. So Sam Fold doing everything he can do. So runner at second, 1 out. And here comes Tim Bogart.
Well, the lefty-righty matchups, and once again we'll see it. And I'm sure lefty's going to start getting loose once this righty comes in, because Adam John's the on-deck. Sam Fold taking care of it.
So, new pitcher. A's with a runner on here and 1 out. All with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by AT&T Uverse. It's coming up this evening at 6 o'clock, and it's over on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll have all the highlights from this A's Rangers game, and we'll get Joe Stiglitz post-game notes. Joe, our A's insider, and get you ready for the 49ers and the Raiders coming up this weekend. Andrew Nakano and Ahmed Fareed will host. 7-2 Rangers lead. A's trying to make some noise here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Donaldson to hit. He's facing Spencer Patton. Made his major league debut on the 4th of September. Donaldson with a double in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. So Swing hit high in the air, right center. Again, Martin battling that sun. He's got it. Fuld will tag. He'll hustle to third, and he'll get there. But now there are 2 outs. So here comes Adam Dunn. There is not a lefty in the bullpen, so Patton is going to face Dunn. Patton was acquired by the Rangers from the Kansas City Royals on the 16th of July.
Well, the same catcher's in there, and he's been calling all of the fastballs to Adam Dunn. So we'll see if Patton gets the #1 sign from the catcher.
First pitch is a fastball that runs away from Dunn. Dunn, 2 strikeouts and a pop out to short. Swing there by Adam Dunn, fouls it straight back. Sam Fuld not being held on at third, obviously, with the shift on Beltre playing over at the shortstop spot. Sam Fuld could literally go halfway to home plate and nobody would say anything.
But it's smart that Patton's pitching out of the stretch, because if he's out of the windup, I think he would get walk home if he wanted.
Fuld doesn't even have to, after the pitch is thrown. Most of the time guys will kind of go back to the bag at least a little bit. He doesn't even have to do anything. He can just keep his big lead and not have to move. Just again, 3-1.
One thing he can do in a wild pitch, should there be one that does not get that far away from the catcher. Heck, he's 45 of the 90 feet down the line. Here comes Stephen Vogt, pinch hit for the pinch hitter before, and Johnny Gomes.
One pitch to Dunn, high fastball, and he chased it. Now it's 3-2.
This time loaded up, and unfortunately the pitch maybe out the strike zone as he got under it, and at least he didn't hit the pop up. Dunn usually very selective with his pitches.
3-2 pitch, here it is, and it's fouled down the left field line.
Yeah, but I don't think he's seen anything but fastballs all day. We know the first 3 at bats from Martinez were all fastballs, 14 pitches, and now 6 in this at bat have all been on the fastball variety. Although that's a splitter grip.
And another fastball, 93 miles an hour, and Dunn swings and misses. So Adam Dunn has struck out 3 times in today's ball game, and we're moving to the 9th inning. 7-2 Texas leads.
player of the game, Jake Molinsky. What a day he's had. His first major league home run in the opener of the series, and he has continued his 4 hits today. And for the young man who has persevered, 31 years young, getting a chance to major league level, and completed his afternoon with a soft single to center on a curveball from Jason Hamill. Only the second hit, actually 2 hits given up by Hamill. That was the first, but good job so far by Hamill pitching out of the bullpen. And Smolinski will get another at bat.
Odor to lead it off. Hamill into his 3rd inning of work. Had 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, giving up a couple of hits. Swing and a miss. Odor doesn't get cheated. Odor hits it hard into right field, the base hit. So he was behind in the count. Doesn't matter. He's got 2 hits. 2 for 5. He's been on base 3 times. 15 hits now for the Rangers.
Now the 2-strike hit, fastball that tried to come back, but kind of stayed to the point where Odor could be his aggressive self. And it's amazing the number of 2-strike hits today.
Beltre grounds it to 3rd. Donaldson has it, fires to 2nd for 1, and that's a double play. Nicely turned by Nick Punto.
Anytime you go around the horn for a double play, it's always good. And Punto very quick at second base, but Donaldson started it, handling the ground ball nicely. And always a good feed, it seems, to second base, and that's important. The second baseman to catch, throw, and complete the double play.
Number 20, Jake Smolinski.
Need those whenever bases runners in scoring position instead of 2 outs, but big one there. And we wish Jason Hamill the best, because he is going to be flying out for the birth of the 2nd child. It's going to be back east, so that will be after today's game. And the reason he is pitching in relief today and to miss the start on Saturday.
Smolinski towards center, and Coco grabs it. So Coco fighting that sun as well. Smolinski retired for the first time, so last chance for the A's. They trail by 5. and it'll be the Phillies in town. Game 1 will be Dayton Buchanan, right-hander for the Phillies, against John Lester, looking for his 16th win of the year. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. with A's pregame live. Ball game starts at 6:35. Fireworks after the game. Complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet. So the Phillies in town. Phillies, disappointing season. They're 70-82. They're in last place in the National League.
Don't say that.
I know. Bunch of good veteran players, but they just have not been able to put it together. One good thing is if you play the Phillies, you do not want to face Cole Hamels. And he pitched in San Diego last night. He was terrific. And the A's will not have to face Cole Hamels.
That's their nemesis, Jerome Williams. It seems that Jerome Williams has a whole bunch of lives, and they all include good games against the Athletics. So let's hope that is not the case Saturday, but first and foremost, trying to come back today. If not, start tomorrow night against the Phillies, the first of 3. But I guess Papelbon won't be closing for, you get a 7 game?
7 games, yeah.
Johnny Gomes is not removed for a pinch hitter. Stephen Vogt was in the on-deck circle, but final out was recorded.
Gomes struck out in the 6th inning when he was pinch hitting for Moss. And he quickly falls behind in the count. 0-2. Spencer Patton trying to close it out. Final 2 outs in the 8th inning. A's post game live coming up after the ball game. Pitch.
At this time of the game, kind of hold your breath. Anything close might be called, and fortunately for Johnny, that one was not.
And he swings at that one, and that's a strikeout. So Johnny Gomes 2 at-bats today, 2 strikeouts.
And they got the slider with the 2 strikes. This one started and unfortunately ended up out of the strike zone.
So here's Lowry. Lowry had a base hit in the 7th inning, 1 of 5 hits for the A's today. See a major league debut. It's not a debut. Just see an A's debut by one Brian Anderson, left-handed hitting catcher. So Lowry has a hit. And here is Anderson.
Your attention, please. Ladies and
September
gentlemen,
call-up for the A's, but remember he was with the Cincinnati Reds.
Number 45.
Came over to trade in August. Minor league numbers this year. Good batting average. Good on-base percentage. 35 games in the big leagues. And this is the first time. His first appearance with the A's at the big league level.
Not to be confused with the Brian Anderson, broadcaster for the Tampa Bay Rays.
So they're an outfielder with the White Sox named Brian Anderson, right-handed hitter, tall guy, good outfielder. Hit hard. Rosales with a nice play. He's going to go to second for 1, back to first, and that's a double play.
Wow.
A terrific double play to end the ball game.
A surprising double play, kind of a shock that it ended that way.
So a very, very disappointing series for the A's. They get swept at home by the Texas Rangers, so the A's now fall into the 2nd wild card spot. The Royals now 1st wild card spot, and the Mariners just a little bit closer to the Athletics. They will play tonight. So the Rangers outscore the A's in this series 19-6. Final score today, Texas 7 and the A's 2. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.